Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Tonight's layout update will probably be a long one, probably 30 minutes. I have been busy. I have been working on stuff. I have been cleaning. You can't tell it from this shot right here, but I've been doing a lot of stuff. So you can see the blue F7 down there on the workbench. I've started to work on finishing up the F7 series. So you might see a video on that here in the next couple weeks. I've also started working on this Virginian SD40-2 that I started about, probably 2 years ago. And I remember why I stopped working on it. It's because I didn't have any hand railings for it. So, but I have added some detail parts to it. Hope you can see the lift rings I put on the top. Put the cab shades on. And I've been putting the details on the trucks here. I still got one truck to do. So I'm going to order some handrails for that one and a couple of others. And we'll get back to that. Got my shadow out here. He's not too far from me most of the time, especially lately because I've been sleeping in the camper because of that chemo cream I have to put on my hands is highly toxic to the animals. So I haven't been putting that on in the house. Sorry, got you out of camera there. But Gatsby's doing really good, spoiled rotten. And I stayed in the house last night till about midnight watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And this boy right here was so happy to get to snuggle up with Dad and watch TV. So it was great. So I absolutely love him to death. I'm glad we got him. I have a couple of models down there. I have that Chicago Northwestern SD40-2 and that CP rail down there in kind of the middle left, little upper spot here. I think those are going to go for sale. The CP rail I bought, somebody was in the process of converting that to an SD38. And it's not really fitting in with anything I want to do now, so I think it's going to get gone. And that Chicago Northwestern, and then I got so much stuff that I just need to start getting rid of stuff. I got some SD45s shells up here, but I'll probably end up keeping those because I had those when I was a kid, and I'll probably just make them dummies and stick them in the background for some Pensy photos or something like that. That Santa Fe and that MKT, those are Tony's. I have to work on them. But let's come over here. I started working on some. Oh, let me tell you this real quick. So these trees, you just settle down. These trees have been planted for a couple of years now, right? Now, it was funny that I had a train come through earlier, and this tree has been sitting right here for I don't know how long. But all of a sudden, it decided to fall over and derailed the entire train. It was ridiculous. So I put it back in place and ran the train around again, and it fell over again and derailed the train the second time. So I was really kind of pissed off by that. So it just, the dumbest things happen out here. And I think this one here is probably getting ready to tip over too. This is my favorite, one of my favorite scenes. I did this a few years ago. It's just a little bit of a tribute to, fallen soldiers. I took a 2-inch Army man. I blended up some bronze paint and let's see if I can zoom in. It painted him up. I had to fix the helmet because it was a Soviet era helmet and the weapon is not an American weapon, but I changed it around a little bit. It's good enough. It's good enough. I got that Sherman tank over there. That's a Johnny Lightning tank, and I thought it was HO scale. It's a little bit too small, but it looks good back here in the woods. It'll pass. Playing around with the depots over here in the cartridge. This is a Pella depot on the left. That's Dwight's. I just kind of wanted to see what it would look like compared to this depot in the background on the right that I've had for probably 20 years or something like that. I didn't do a very good job putting it together, so I'm debating on just getting rid of it and let somebody else mess with it, or buying something else. But I have determined that both of these depots are too big for this scene. One can stay, but one has to go. I had a smaller depot here that was very, very small, and it's over on the belt line now, and I'll show you that one here in just a minute because I got some stuff to highlight over there. But I think I'm gonna have to go with a small one again and try to figure something out there that looks better, that just looks better. All right, so I've been over here on this street. I think this is Main Street. I need to name some streets, but I worked on the grade crossing here. I kind of like the way this stuff looks. This is a very soft, pliable, like joint compound. Yeah, it's extra lightweight joint compound is what it is. And when I'm done, it's going to look like concrete. So I think that's going to look pretty good. And I've done that on the other side of the layout in Apple Creek, and I like it, so might as well go ahead and do it over here. Cartridge has not had any attention in quite some time. I think the most I've done to it is I put these trees in a couple of months ago just to see how they'd look, and I didn't glue them in or anything, but I need to finish this little tower too. So all this gray area over here will be painted with this concrete brush on paint. It looks pretty good when it's dried, but I'm not going to do anything to the road. I'm just going to paint it on top of the foam, and I think it looked okay on the other side, so I'm going to try it over here. And I did some road repairs in a couple places. I think I did some stuff over here too, and right there. So I'm going to paint all that stuff here in the next week or two and go from there. Got this other street over by the movie theater. I like this one. This might be like Palace Drive or something like that. I kind of like the idea of it. Let's see. I got the crossing here at Mrs. Robinson's house I got to work on. I'm just going to put these railroad ties up here. I need to color this tie and weather it. I need to put this one in, and then it'll just be rocks up here coming down to the road. And this road here, I think I decided like right about this spot, because it kind of drops down, is going to be all gravel. So all this gray area will be gravel to where Bridge Tower will sit right about here. Oh, this thing. So the train took out the signal over here, and this is just there for looks. So might as well go ahead and set that down. All right, so nothing really new over here. Just a lot of planning going on. I need to get off my lazy butt and reconfigure this backdrop that I painted up here. It needs to be about 3 inches lower, and I need to go ahead and paint this corner and make sure all that's going to work. But it's been kind of lazy. We're in like an Indian summer right now, so it's pretty hot out here again. So hopefully next week it'll drop back down to the 70s. I can come out here and I don't have to worry about anything. Oops, wrong button. I need to work on this window covering. That might happen tomorrow a little bit. We'll see. What I have been working on is the track configuration up here. So if you look at the tracks here, you got 2 main lines. The one on the right is technically the Pennsy main line. The one on the left is the siding or the track that goes into the yard. Now, where the locomotives are sitting will be a crossover. So when you come off to Allegheny Midland, which is a track that goes straight back in the middle of the screen, Allegheny Midland and Pennsy got joint trackage, which is the track on the right. The track on the left is for anything entering the yard on the Allegheny Midland side. So all the Pennsy trains and the majority of the mainline trains on the Allegheny Midland will be on the right-hand track. The siding there, as I'm calling it, can be used as additional trackage when switching the yard, and I'll show you all that in just a second. And here you got the mainline switch. Pennsy goes off to the left, and the 2 tracks on the right are Allegheny Midland. This is the turnout that is going to the yard lead. So the 2 pieces of road bed there will be the main line and the siding. You kind of see where I had the road bed just kind of laid out there, giving me an idea of how I want to do the track arrangement here. I had this idea of having the Pennsy line on the left separated from the 2 Allegheny Midland lines on the right, and with a little town in the middle, but I'm not sure that's going to work out very well. I had an idea earlier of elevating the town about 4 inches on like 2 pieces of 2-inch foam, creating a quasi tunnel for the Pennsy to go under, which would be below the town, and then just like have a cut come down kind of on the right here, and then with like maybe a highway bridge coming across and then stopping at the edge of the layout. This whole thing is, I'm just freelancing this part. I was going to do a CAD layout of it, and it's only really about 15 feet, not even that, probably about 12 feet. And I was like, I'll just come up with this in my head. So that's what I'm working on. So I got all this stuff mocked up. So the track that is in place there is the yard lead. It will come off of the siding here and then go straight down to the foam. No road bed on this track here. So that way there I can lay that pretty easily. I've measured out from the Pennsy main line all the way over to this location where the first switch is. or straight is number 10 track, and going left is 9 through 1. I like the way this is looking so far, but nothing's tacked down. It's just, you know, put together so I can just kind of move it around and see what I like. But I screwed up real bad, and I realized a mistake today. And let me tell you what I did. When you're standing here looking down what will be number 10 track in the yard, this end looked really off from the other end. And this whole edge of the layout right here is not perfectly straight. The wall kind of bends out a little bit. So this part, this corner right here sticks out maybe a ½ inch or more than way down here. And it's not a good cut either. So it's a very rough cut. Even though I tried to do my best, it's not matching the wood at all. So there's a lot of optical illusions that really kind of screw you up when you're looking down this. And I hope you can see it, but maybe not. So when I started doing some measurements from the center line of the Pincy main line to the center line right here on number 10 track should be 26 inches. You know, that's 2-inch centers, and you get it all, you know, worked out with your math and everything, comes 26. So I'm like, all right. So I come all the way down here and I measure the same location on the opposite end of the yard, and it turns out that it's 24 inches. You know, the only thing I can think that I did wrong was when I was counting the turnouts up here. When I was counting the turnouts, you have main line, siding, 1, 2, 3. And I think I went main line and then siding or something. Somehow I counted wrong. And so when I was just kind of mocking everything up here today, I realized it was off. I double checked some measurements and, you know, found the mistake before I got, you know, too deep into it. And what that mistake really screwed up was it moved my number 10 switch from right here back a foot. So I'm like, okay, so when that moved back a foot, the belt line yard was off by 2 inches, and I couldn't just leave it where it was and have it like have it jog over, you know. So I had to move the entire yard and this lead over 2 inches, and it went relatively well. I did it all in about 5 minutes. No big deal at all. Kind of temporary spiked it down on this end to hold it in place. But the outside track, which is the main line, went from like a 3-inch little Dutchman piece in there to about a 4-inch piece. So I have to cut a new piece of track and put in there, and it'll be good to go after that. And then I'll tack everything back down with the sewing needles and all that. So not a huge problem, but is a problem nonetheless, that at least I found it now instead of when I had a whole bunch more track laid out and all that stuff. So once again, to recap for the new viewers, each yard track is 5 pieces of flex tack long, so 15 feet. That should give me about 29 or 30 40-foot box cars in each track. I will have 10 yard track, therefore be 300 car total maxed out yard, which they should never have that many cars in it at any given time, because that would be inefficient. You can't switch and all that stuff. So it'd be kind of a pain in the butt. But just you know, maximum car capacity, that's where it would be at. I got the yardsticks laid out here to kind of show you the direction of the yard lead, how it's going to go down. And when I get all this tacked in, probably tomorrow, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw a bunch of 40-foot box cars on there and count to make sure that they will fit there and clear the clear points. And if not, then what I'll end up doing is getting a 9-inch, you know, some 9-inch snap track, and I'll throw some 9-inch snap track on this end to lengthen everything out by 9 inches, and that should give me plenty of room to, you know, have 30 cars in each one. Now the plan is Henthorn Yard here will be worked from the east end, which is to the left of the screen. Theoretically, you should be able to pull one full track all the way up to the switch where the lead comes off the siding and be able to work the yard for most of the tracks. I think number 10, you might not be able to pull the whole track, but number 10 is really the track that all the interchange cars for the belt line go on, so that shouldn't really be a problem. And if I'm pulling 30 cars out of number 1 to shove into number 2, I should have plenty of room. But if I need to pull more than that, I can always get permission from the dispatcher to come out onto the siding, and I can pull all the way up to the signal, the Pensy signal at the switch up there on the other side of those motors on the end of that bridge. So I should have plenty of room to be able to operate. And this siding that's here between this switch and the turnout at the west end of the siding is probably about 50 or 60 cars long. So there should be plenty of room for trains that I can pull them up and stop them here. And I shouldn't have any operational issues with, you know, a train being on the siding that has to clear up. So, I mean, there's plenty of room to maneuver. And I think it's going to work out pretty decent. But I'm going to mock all this up on this number 10 track. And I'm just going to kind of test it out just to make sure. And then I'll start putting down a cork and start laying the main line. And then I'll start working on the siding. And then every time I go to Mike's Trains from now on, I'll probably buy either a number 6 turnout, which each end of the yard is a mirror image of the opposite end. So, I mean, it's just not, you know, there's not a long track near the main line and then a short track up on this end. It's exactly the opposite of the other end, if I'm saying it right. So when you look down, you see the track is going this way for the yard lead, and the same thing on this side. So each yard track is the same length, therefore the same capacity. And that is by design. I think it's going to work pretty good. Once I get all this stuff done up here tomorrow, we'll start testing. But back to every time I go to Mike's Trains, I'll buy a 5-pack of Flex Track, and that'll be 1 yard track. And I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work pretty good. I think I got a good plan in place, but we'll see. So I've also been working over here at the interchange overpass, or the interurban overpass down here at the beginning of the yard throat. I got a piece of track here all soldered together that I ran from the extended piece of the old main line that goes up this very steep hill that will cross the girder bridge right there. The girder bridge will have signals on it, and once all that's in, I'll be able to shove cars up there and just have a neat looking photo of, you know, a 10-car train with, you know, 2 massive locomotives on the head end pulling across, because this is like a 8% grade or something like that. But that's not for anything operational. It's just for photographs and storytelling, and that's about it. So I did pick up some plaster cloth that I can glue this stuff down and throw the plaster cloth on there and then paint it, and then I can tag in my or tack in my track there, and it'll be going up there, and I have to paint the rails and all that stuff. But making some progress there. I've also put this piece here in, the extended piece. The old track used to end right here, and what I've done is I took it outside today and painted. I still need to sand the rails off, and I always try to leave room on the end where it's clean for the clips. Even though I'm not really going to be running trains up this, it would be nice to have, you know, power to it, so that I can have a headlight on or something like that. You know, maybe even a 3-car train, or just, you know, caboose hop or something coming down it, just for, you know, making a video and, you know, talking some smack. Now, you're probably asking, Rob, why are you doing all this work to the belt line right now and this number 10 track? Well, let me tell you, and let me show you what I'm getting ready to start working on here. And when I say getting ready to start working on, it's you know, probably a couple months out. But I have all these turnouts. So I got this one. Hang on. Get my pencil pointer. I actually know where my pointer is at today. I just forgot to grab it this time. So this turnout is having a lot of trouble. A lot of times when the trains are moving in this direction, taking either the diverging route, the diverging route is the main line, they're derailing. Picking this switch like car after car after car. That's just ridiculous how much it happens. So I'm going to pull this turnout out. I'm going to rebuild it or replace it. So, but either way, I need to put a blue point in right here. I think it's a blue point. It might be an Atlas switch machine. I can't remember. Same thing over here. All the mainline switches need to get the switch machines put in. And I think there's one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so 4, at least 4 right there that need to go in. Well, one's coming over here. and then the rest will be blue point. So I need to pull the track up because it is temporary. Drill the holes so I can put the blue points in and these Atlas switching machines in, and then I can start running the wires and everything else. So once I get that done, I think it'll make it a lot more fun to run the layout, because a lot of times I just run trains in one direction because oh, that's my wife down there. She's going outside. That kind of scared me. You know, we got ghosts. A lot of times I hear stuff that you don't hear on the camera, and every now and then there's something on the camera that I don't hear that you hear, that I find whenever I'm going back through and then watching the videos. Pretty crazy stuff. And so back on track. No pun, but pun. You know it's funny. A lot of stuff going on here, and like I said, it's going to be operationally more enjoyable to be able to hit a button and throw turnouts than to get up on my step and reach over and pull the pin out and throw it manually. And it's just, I think it'll be better. And of course, you know, that's part of the long-term plan anyway, which is what we all do. All right. So back over here to my Kit Bash Freight House. If you haven't watched the series on that, I challenge you to go do so. There's a whole playlist. I think there's 8 videos. They might be kind of boring, but I talk a lot, and you never know. I say some funny stuff too. But in the last, I think, video that I made on this, or maybe it was an update video, I was talking about this foundation was too small. And I didn't like the way it looked with, oh, where's my pointer at? I didn't like the way it looked because the old foundation, there was only about 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. And I didn't think it looked good. Sorry, if you didn't put your tail underneath my foot, you wouldn't get stepped on. If I didn't think it looked right with, you know, the material sitting out here for added detail, and there wasn't any room to, you know, for the people to move up and down, or to move cargo up and down, or the forklift to move up and down, or anything else. So I made a new foundation. I made it 7 inches wide, 21 inches long. The other one was 5 inches wide and about 19 or 20 inches long. So I made it longer and wider, and I think it looks a lot better. I just need to add another step down here underneath to bring these steps up to a better level, and I think it's gonna look good. Oh, I forgot to mention back here. Okay, so back here there is like a team track that comes off here that will run onto the foam and run all the way through here, all the way up to about maybe this road. That's going to be the Railway Express track, as well as there'll be a concrete ramp here on the right side, right there by the road in the middle of the screen. And all this will be painted gray and rocks. And then when you get down to about right here where this trolley line will be, I don't know what it's going to look like after this. So all this area down here is just waiting for my you know, imagination to go wild and figure something out there. So we shall see. Now here's a cool part that you're going to want to be really paying attention for. I don't have a name for this road, so I'm going to do a contest. And if you live in the continental United States and you pick a name, and just leave a name for the road in the comments, and if I like it, I'll send you a message saying, send me your email address. I will email you, and I will send you this Norfolk Southern Heritage coffee mug for free. For free. You don't even have to be a subscriber. Just watch the video and, you know, leave a comment. What should I name this road? Now, let me tell you what not to say. There's no Railroad Street here. There's no Depot Street here. Okay? Those two are out. Okay, let's go ahead and say something else. No political names. So it's not going to be Trump Road. It's not going to be Biden Road. It's not going to be Pelosi Place or anything like that. No politics on this. So, and that's just to make everybody happy and to make me happy, even though you probably say some pretty good stuff and it made me laugh. But, you know, we got people out there who are highly sensitive, you know, on both sides of the aisle, and I don't want to deal with it, to be honest. So let's keep the politics out of it, and let's have some cool names on there. And if I choose your name and you live in the continental United States, I will send you this mug for free. All you have to do is send me your address. All right. So I have done a bunch of scenery work here. So I started here at the edge of the building, and I have worked all the way down. Move, move. Okay, so this is the little depot that was over in Cartridge that I said was too small, but actually I think I'm probably going to move back. But I have put all this scenery and ballast in on the front of the layout, not on the back, because I'm still figuring out what to do. And I know I broke the rule that you always work from the back of the layout to the front, and I break that rule all the time because it's always better for photographs on this end of the layout. So that's what I'm doing. So now you're probably going to ask about the cactus. I put that there just to be a smart aleck. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm gonna put some rocks around it, and that's just there because my friend John Chase over at Whistle Stop Models, he 3D printed me some stuff and he sent it to me, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I thought I'd just kind of throw it in someplace where it absolutely did not, belong, and just leave it there and say that the train master put it there, and that's that. Because I guess he moved out from Arizona or something like that to Apple Creek, Ohio, and decided he needed a cactus. So I got some locomotives just sitting here, kind of showing you what I've been doing. I've been putting in some trolley poles. I've also put in scale ground throws. I've put in crossing bucks, yard limit signs, whistle posts, threw in some trees, some rocks up there to keep anybody from just, randomly driving off into the, McClellan Avenue. But I really like these trolley poles, and I think from this location here down to this location by this turnout, I'm going to run trolley line and at least a couple of code wires on there. I can't walk with you stepping on me. You hear me? You're gonna have to go lay down. And I think that's about the only place that you'll see that, because it's not anything, there's nothing over here operational that you're gonna reach in and hit that stuff. Because I always think about Dwight and his big gorilla hands, and this is a big dude. His hands are like twice my size. Stop, get out of here. So I always think about, what would Dwight do? So what was that? WWDD, what would Dwight do? Yeah. So I always think about his big hands and knocking stuff over because he got big hands. But I think this looks really good. There's plenty of clearance here, and there's nothing really that you can reach over and hit because there's nothing here. This is only a town and scenery. So I think everything's safe. I think I talked about this bridge in the background. I moved that back about 2 inches, recut it, glued it, and I left, and there's now a space on there in front of the depot for some people to stand out there and wait for the train. I think that's some good detail. And I kind of like the way this looks with them buildings back here. I thought they were too high, just the way they're made, so I lowered them down about an inch or so. And you can see some of them down through here. Oh no, I still have that blocked off. All right, so more trolley line right there in the middle of the screen. More scenery right here behind the fire stations. And come through here. I think I talked about Howard Street getting stripes, and that was last time. This is another Whistle Stop Models model, 3D printed. I love the way this looks here. I mean, absolutely love the way it looks here. I'm still working on the park in the background. That will get some attention this week and probably get finished up. And once again, I've done scenery and ballast all through here. Now, you can see I put a lot of grass between the tracks because I want you to be at this angle and really not be able to see the rails. I think it's gonna look neat. And it does look pretty cool when the train passes through. And I was gonna run the train across here tonight, but I was messing around doing some things and I forgot to put it back in place. And one reason that I was distracted is because I've had the same locomotive pulling the same train for a couple of days now, and all of a sudden today I couldn't pull the train. So I don't know what the problem could be that all of a sudden, after 3 days of pulling the same 45 cars, that it can't pull 45 cars today, but who knows? Who knows? We got ghosts. I told you that, right? Okay, I put in some stop signs. There is I put in the fire hydrant. That's also a Whistle Stop Models. I put in a 3-way stop. Now, these trees in the background there, I have not installed them permanently yet, so they still have their stand on there, so don't beat me up and say it looks stupid. I know. It's just there for proof of concept. I'm trying to put the taller trees close to this edge on the right side of the screen and the smaller ones to back to kind of force some depth perception, maybe a little force perspective. and I think it's going to look okay. I got a lot of street work to do here. I threw in some India ink to kind of make it look like tire marks going around the concrete, and then the dark gray section will be rock, and I'll probably work on that here soon. Now, once again, you can see I've done all this scenery down, all this ballast down, the grass there in the middle, scenery back there, some you know, ground foam and all that stuff towards the back of the layout here in front of this custom built freight house, which looks cool. Got that ground foam and ballast all the way down here. And I've also put in this number 2 track where the Powerhouse is going to be. And I changed some things around. So originally this was going to be an elevated track to match the like grading and stuff that was in this little dump building here. And I ended up just taking the bottom of the building off. And what's going to happen is it will sit roughly like this. And that white foam that the blue bottle is sitting on is the same size dimensionally as the Powerhouse that will be kit bashed and put on here. And I'm really liking this. I also decided to use this oil tank, and you know, I guess I don't even know what the kit's called, like just, you know, petroleum, you know, storage or something. And then park a, you know, a tank car or so back here by it, and that oil is just to start the boilers before the coal kicks in. So I thought that was kind of different. I also have a sorry, look at my wife. Also have a new kit that will be built and will replace these two. These belong to Dwight, so I have to replace them at some point. And but it's a what's it called? Grain elevator, ADM grain elevator by Walthers. And really it will kind of match these here for right now. And these will probably move over to here. And then I can start working on my helper pocket track with a couple of cars that will be spotted up for the industry in this area. And you can see that I did some ballast work over here as well as some ground foliage. And all that gray will be rock road. And then once I get the new kit built, I will ballast and put scenery down back here. Lots to do. Lots been going on. Okay. Yeah, I'm away. Well, we're at 32 minutes. Stop. All right. Now, you may have noticed already, I planted about 1,000 trees over here, all up on this ridge line. I know you can see through it, but I'm going to take the clump foliage and I'm just going to drop it in there randomly to help block the view of the white foam and stuff in the background. But when you're right here, I think it looks incredible. This scene right here is going to just make everybody say, wow. That's my idea. Everybody's going to say, wow. And you see I got cars everywhere. I got too many cars on the layout right now. And I got a train on the Allegheny Midland. And it's just shoved up that mountain hill, or shoved up the hill just to get get stuff off the main line, what I'm trying to say. I've got a bunch of empty cars there in the mine just to get stuff out of the way. I got Locomotive sitting there just to get stuff out of the way. I shaped some foam right there in the middle of the screen to make the second tier of this hillside I'm working on. I'll continue to do that. And I finally got one of the coolest tools ever, and I'll show you that here in a minute, that is going to help me to get this mountain scene built. I haven't done anything here for a while, but I'm working on it. Once again, I got a bunch of cars over here in storage, and you see I did some scenery work from this location all the way down from the track to the edge of the layout to the culvert. And up here. Now I just randomly threw some rocks on here and glued them in a number of places. And if you don't think that's natural and you think it looks dumb, I'm gonna tell you, here in North Carolina, there's literally just rocks, big freaking rocks in the middle of the woods for no reason whatsoever. And there's like 5 different locations I can take you to and show you. So that was the inspiration for that. Now, this area has finally started to get some attention. I worked on the mountainside the other day for about 2 hours. I got a little frustrated with my my technique of gluing this clump foliage onto this hillside. Some of it's kind of steep and it fell off, and it was just aggravating me, so I take a couple of days off. I got the whole valley floor here, you know, scenery or scenic, and I like these rocks and a whole bunch of little rocks. I kind of wanted it to look like something had fallen down the hill a while back, but you know, obviously all the trees and the brush have grown back on there, so it's just going to be underneath the bridge. I think it's going to look pretty decent. I have been working on this center section, this center pier. I put some India ink on there to tone it down. I got some weathering to do on that. I'd like to get that done this week. And I got the same thing to do on this side. Now, I've been talking about this for months, and I procrastinated and thought about it and procrastinated and thought about it and procrastinated some more and then thought some more about it. But I'm to a point now where in the next 2 weeks, hold me to this, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to start carving and working on this section because I want that to blend. I really want to get this to a point where I can start taking some videos coming through here, and a good tight shot down low like this of a train coming across that bridge is going to look incredible because there's going to be a tunnel right there above that abutment. It's going to come out, go out about 4 inches, and then, you know, pop onto the bridge. I think it's going to look great. And you know, even though this track underneath is dead, I can pose locomotives on there, cars and caboose and stuff like that. I think it's going to look good. And that's really the only reason I did that, is just for pictures and some video sake. But things are going good. Do you want out? Why do you even come out here if you pester me to go back in the house? See my gorgeous wife in there. She'd be mad. She's in her jams. Get out. I told him it was too hot out here. He don't want to listen. Let's see. All right, we'll go back over here. All right, so my friend Joe Zimmerman, he is the ultimate salesman when it comes to anything model railroad. And he calls me up with this this topside creeper, right? He calls me up and said, Rob, I really would like you to have this topside creeper. I think you're going to need it when you start that second level and working on your mountains. And I really want you to have this. $200 later, and I had it. He always sells it to me like he's going to give it to me, and I know he's not going to give it to me. But I mean, he gave me a good deal, a good fair deal. And these things are like $300. Actually, this model is $300. So he gave it to me for $200 and made me feel like, you know, I should give him more for it. But he's a good guy, really good guy. I like it when he calls me up with something. So I got this so I can reach over. I got it adjusted so I can reach over and or push it over to the layout. I just have to do a lot of cleaning. Now, you can't tell, but I have done a lot of cleaning. I have been like, all my scrap foam has been, you know, I've been trying to bring it over here. I got some boxes to go to the trash. I got some scrap wood back here. I just kind of been throwing it back here for right now. And I'm just trying to get everything, I guess, cleaned and organized so I can get rid of a bunch of crap. And speaking of getting rid of crap, I got a bunch of stuff I need to sell. So keep coming back and you might see some videos with stuff that you might be interested in. Okay, so if you watched my last video, I went to John Quaron's house, and yeah, we went to and filmed about 3 hours. Well, yeah, I was there about 3 hours and we filmed for about an hour. And my friend Rod took him a put together kit of this ADM grain elevator. And me being me, I said, hey, John, what are you going to do with that kit now? He goes, you want it? I said, heck yes, I want it. So he gave it to me. So this will go over and replace Dwight's silos that he has over by, on the other side of Apple Creek. John also 3D printed this bucket loader for me. So I'm going to put that in one of the coal mines. And I'm going to try to weather it up, make it look pretty rusty and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's out of my era. But who cares? Sometimes you just got to have a little flexibility and put something down there. That's a cool gift. Also, I think I talked about Eric Ernest a couple weeks ago. Let me go ahead and talk about this. So I contacted Eric the other day. And I said, hey, I got an idea. I said, why don't you 3D print these doors that go on the bottom of the old roundhouse 2-bay hopper kits, covered hopper kits. I said, every time I find one of these at a, you know, that's already put together, used at a consignment shop or something, this part is missing. So I sent him a bunch of instructions, I sent him measurements, and he is going to start working on this probably here in the next couple weeks, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So, and he's going to change the design and make it look better. Let me put it to you that way. And I'm excited. Now let's talk about rod baits. Sorry about that, bro. And let's talk about this. So I was gifted this Pennsylvania M1B Broadway Limited 482. And basically what Rod does is, if you go to Facebook and do a search for, oh my God, what is that? I forgot. Something Locomotive Works. Bates Locomotive Works. That's what it is. Bates Locomotive Works. So go to Facebook, look for Bates Locomotive Works, and he will give you a real deep dive into the job he can do for you installing DCC lights, inspection lights, truck lights, you know, the step lights, everything in your diesel locomotives. And he also does brass and steam locomotives as well. So a customer of his wanted the decoder out of this locomotive, put in something else, and he told Rod, just keep this, I don't want it. So Rod he knows I'm a Pensy guy. So he said, hey, you want this? I said, yeah, I'll take it. So he had I think a Tsunami 1100 decoder, steam decoder, that he put into it, and then he gave this to me. And man, I tell you what, nothing makes you feel more special when someone gives you something, you know? I mean, not hey man, you want this? Hey, $100. I mean, that's cool too, but I mean, just to give it to you. So I'm gonna have to keep Rod around as a good friend about it, because he's awesome. The only problem with it is I'm going to have to contact Broadway Limited and get a new front truck, because this lead wheel here is froze up and will not turn. Now, I can turn it, you know, forcefully, but it will not just turn by itself. So more than likely I'll have to replace all of this, because I cannot pull this off. Or I'll have to send this to Broadway Limited and have them fix it. Now here's a little word of advice. If you ever use the wire brush that you clip onto your track to clean your wheels, that's got, like, here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I keep this handy. It's how I clean. Always running into something. So this just clips onto your track. You program your locomotive, and you put these on the wheels. Each side, one's positive, one's negative, whatever. When you're cleaning your Broadway Limited locomotives, and you're touching both the wheels like you're supposed to, and if you hit this screw, you're going to short out. Don't hit the screw. Ask me how I know. I thought I burned out the decoder today. Luckily, I did not. Kind of scared me. Now, why that thing sparks, I don't have any idea, but just be mindful of that. Okay, I think last thing to talk about, it's a long one, is whistle stop models. John Chase sent me a bunch of stuff, and I have neglected to work on the stuff that he sent me because I've been so busy with everything else. Now, all this is part of a like a landscape gravel company kit. There's some picnic tables over here, some pallets, and some random piping. Oh, this is pallet jacks. These are your concrete, like Legos as I call them, and they normally put like the mulch and the rock and the the different types of soil in these, and you paint them concrete. Comes with a truck. You got some conveyor belt loader. There's a skid steer, office trailer. You got a scale, and this office building right here. Now that office building, I'm gonna start working on here pretty quick, so I'm gonna film it, and I'm gonna kind of give you a quick tutorial on how to clean up a 3D model and then paint it. So this is going to go over at the Powerhouse, and I'm going to put some windows in it, clean all this stuff off. Now there's a hidden gem in there. There's an outhouse up in there. So you have to cut that outhouse out, and it probably looks just like this. And I've taken some measurements of things. Everything is pretty close to HO scale. The picnic tables, man, they're a little big. That's some stuff we made when I was in the Army. And but it can work. So I'm gonna take those off and paint them up. They're gonna be background in a couple parks that I have. And as long as you don't have like any kids, child figures, trying to get up on there, you won't tell that they're a little bit large. But I think all these other ones, they tested out pretty close. Now the fact that you can 3D print a truck is incredible to me. I think it's awesome. So I'll be working on these, and this will all be a video, I think Thursday. I think I decided I was going to do this on Thursday. So all this will get cleaned up and separated from all these support stanchions and stuff. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but the key to working on a 3D printed models, take your time, go slow. The stuff is fragile. It's Italian, it's fragile. You gotta be careful with it. So we'll talk about that on Thursday's video. And I think that's about it. I think that's about it. So going once, going twice. Yeah, I have rambled long enough, 45 minutes and 36 seconds. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate your comments. So hit that like button, comment, share videos. I never ever talk about sharing videos, and I'm curious whether that will make any difference whatsoever. The short videos, share the heck out of them short videos. And if you saw the Friday night short video, you know Elvis is doing pretty good. He's still having some minor stomach issues, but overall, I think he's past all the worry stage. You know, I think everything's, you know, he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. So thank you once again for everybody who has donated and asked questions and left comments. I greatly appreciate it. And I cannot tell you how humbling it is to have such wonderful people watch my videos that donate their hard-earned money and help me with my dogs and the outrageous surgery fee that I paid. But, you know, and I was talking to my wife today, and this is a sidebar. We're going to start a YouTube channel about Great Danes. And I had this kick-ass name for it. It was like Robin Lisa's Great Dane something. Great Dane Adventure or something. But it was just awesome. And I can't remember what the heck it is. And it's really making me mad. But 1st of October, we will be creating that YouTube channel and start posting videos. So if you're really into the Great Danes, keep coming back. And I will share that link to the new channel with you very soon. Also, if you're over 50 years old and you want to get back into shape, I'm going to create another YouTube channel just for people like us, and try to do some online coaching and stuff like that with this new NASM personal trainer certification I got. And we'll continue to make progress in our lives and live the best lives that we can. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so. Share videos. Go watch another video. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Thursday night.